Please be upstand for the chair.
Good evening, everyone. Please sit down. Are there any apologies for absence? I have received apologies from Councillor Ken Barry, Karen Clark, Naomi Craven, Janet Hunter, Jim Montague, Andy Newman and Muriel Green. Are there any other apologies? Yes, Councillor Johnson.
Martin Rankin.
Martin Rankin, thank you. Oh, sorry. Thank you, Councillor. Can I remind members, if they have any registrable and or non-registrable interests in the matters appearing on the agenda, and in the nature of the interest, they must verbally declare in respect of any items of business to be discussed at this meeting and the nature of such interests. You are also invited to disclose any dispensation from the requirement to declare any registrable and or non-registrable interests that have been granted to you in respect of any matters appearing on the agenda. Those members should also complete the card on your desks and return it to the receptacle located on the desk of the Democratic Services Officer before leaving. Good. As you're aware, there's one item on the agenda tonight, item 3, to seek agreement to the proposed warding arrangement submission to the Local Government Boundary Commission for England as North Tyneside Council's official response. Can I ask Councillor Carl Johnson to move the report, please?
Thank you, Chair. The Borough of North Tyneside was created 48 years ago in 1974. Since then, many councillors, including us in this chamber this evening, have been privileged to serve as this people as our proud borough. Collectively, our successive generations, elected members, have made a difference and played their part to make North Tyneside a thriving borough, which it is, and a great place to live, work and visit. The Local Government Boundary Commission of England is legally required to review the electoral arrangements for all local authorities from time to time. North Tyneside has been reviewed twice before, in 1979 and in 2003, and it is now our turn again. The Boundary Commission look at two matters: how many councils are needed to represent the communities of our borough in the future, and which areas those councillors need to cover. The process is completely apolitical. The Boundary Commission are not interested in politics. They simply want to ensure the council has the right number of councillors to represent the community and do the work that the council needs elected members to do. And those councillors cover the right areas where communities have grown and developed over time. There's been a lot of work required to gather the evidence which the Boundary Commission requested. The cross-party elected member boundary working group we established has worked diligently together to prepare the information. I'd like to thank all members who give their time, valuable experience and thoughtful contributions to the working group. The Boundary Commission confirmed in August that North Tyneside should stay with 60 councillors in the future. The paper before council this evening is at the next stage. It sets out our proposal for the 20 wards as required by the Boundary Commission and where we think those wards should be. In preparing these draft warding arrangements, the cross-party working group need to apply the Boundary Commission's very clear criteria. The first of these is electoral equality, meaning we needed to aim for a similar number of electors in each proposed ward. We have done so, but we also sought to balance that with the Boundary Commission's other criteria. Those other criteria are community identity and modern and convenient local government. The resultant warding pattern put before council this evening is the best fit in the judgment of the cross-party elected member boundary working group within the confines of the Boundary Commission's three criteria. It provides much better electoral equality while respecting the sense of community in the wards which we propose. Finally, we have also put forward some new ward names which better reflect the identities and characteristics of the community which we serve. I would conclude by passing my thanks to the elected member boundary working group, to the officers who have supported the process, particularly those from the planning team, law and governance team, policy and research and comms team. I would now commend the proposed warding pattern to the Council and recommend this goes forward to the Boundary Commission as the official submission from North Tyneside Council to the warding patterns phase of the Boundary Commission's current electoral review.
Thank you, Councillor Johnson. Do you have a seconder?
I'll formally second.
Thank you, Councillor. Are there any questions? I'll now invite members to speak to the motion. Councillor Wallace.
Thank you, Chairman. I have particular concerns about the proposals for the newly created Briar-Dean ward, which replaces my ward of St Mary's in some measure. I don't think that, first of all, this new ward would accord with the Boundary Commission's aim of avoiding splitting local ties. In particular, I'm concerned about the proposal to divide the Whitley Lodge estate by removing a chunk of it from this ward, the eastern part being placed in a different ward. Whitley Lodge is very cohesive. It is a large housing estate. The shopping centre, the schools, all are linked together. There is no logical reason at all to divide it. Secondly, the inclusion of Holywell and Backworth, I think, is not logical at all. There are no links there, and there's no justification for it. Simply saying that they, and for example us and part of Wellfield, are all rural is simply inadequate. Finally, I would say also that the large geographical size of this ward, plus the inclusions of the various smaller rural areas, would make it very difficult for ward members without their own transport to get round it. Public transport linking all of these is very difficult. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wallace. Anyone else? Councillor Bartoli.
Thank you, Chair. I think my first reaction when looking at these wards was it looks like a child's been set loose with a set of crayons. The ward boundaries just, whilst they were at times perhaps illogical, at least made some sense. These don't seem to have made any, and I think the more we've looked into this, the more it appears that the Labour group have just tried to gerrymander perhaps as much representation as possible rather than actually look at the needs of the constituents within the ward. I'll focus, though, just on my ward of Tynemouth. I think the idea of a new Cullercoats and Tynemouth ward is a complete betrayal of both communities by reducing their representation from what is 6 councillors to 3. They're two very distinct communities with their own identities and their own needs. And the idea that these can just be bunched together it makes no sense. The only reason that would possibly be done is because these are 2 Conservative-held wards and obviously to reduce representation of the Conservative Party. I can see no other logical reason for doing that. So I'm disappointed. I think it was a great opportunity for the Council to actually make some genuine improvements, but I think it just appears to have been a case of see how many Labour councillors we can get.
Thank you, Councillor Bartoli. Anyone else? Councillor Arkley.
Thank you. You know, 2002 is a long time. There were a few of us in this room who were involved at that point. Now we're back to starting again, where we see the whole of the of North Tyneside increasing and obviously changing. I think there are, you know, this is the opportunity not only for councillors but also the public, the residents, and it allows everybody to have a look at what has been proposed and brought forward. It gives us the opportunity of going and having a better view, listening to what people have to say, and I am of the mind that there will be some issues possibly stay as they are and others that which will change. That is what happens. And no doubt there will be that time where we can go over it and have a closer discussion about that. Overall, I think there are some areas which have been improved and others which are not. I don't particularly like some of the changes within Cullercoats and other areas which do not marry up. But that is the start of all of this. A deep discussion and see if we can get a better outcome. And hopefully we will. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Arkley. Councillor Bones?
Thank you, Chair. This boundary review could have been a real opportunity to bring communities across North Tyneside together. We could have had a really open conversation about the future governance arrangements of North Tyneside. But instead, unfortunately, what we have tonight is Labour's attempt to gerrymander our boundaries. In a review that was supposed to bring communities together, the Labour Party have split Shymore into three, completely disregarding the three key aims of the Boundary Commission's review. There are several instances where Labour have left bits of estates across different wards. This does nothing to help local representation. In fact, it undermines local representation. Look at how Labour have tried to make Wheatslade safer for them by effectively creating an orphan ward in the form of Annisford. This is not to mention the complete disregard that the party have shown for the electoral figures. The Commission is very clear that no ward should have a variance more than 10%. 3 wards under Labour's proposal have a larger variance. We should be under no illusions. This is Labour's proposal. We should be under no illusions. This is Labour's proposal. They control the group, they've controlled the working group, and they have put this forward. This is a thinly veiled attempt to gerrymander North Tyneside, plain and simple. We will not be supporting this proposal. We will instead submit our own proposals, which have bringing together communities of North Tyneside at their heart. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Bones. Councillor... I've gone blank. Lott. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I would simply like to register my disappointment that some months' work from an all-party working group where councillors were invariably outnumbered by officers when we were considering the officers' recommendations should be glibly dismissed as political gerrymandering. That undervalues it. It's a disappointing way to summarise that work, but it's what I expected.
Thank you, Councillor Lott. Is there anyone else? Councillor Bell.
Yes, Chair, thank you. I agree with what Councillor Lott just said. There's always a lot of work gone into this by officers and councillors. And if we were in their position, we could be accused maybe of gerrymandering the system to affect us. But we've got 50-odd councillors and they've got 9 or whatever they've got. So, I know, that's what made St Mary's Ward, the whole of, say, the North Tyneside, I think would struggle to get the numbers. So, I don't think it's gerrymandering. I just think it's the, you know, there's winners and there's losers. The Conservative group will obviously be able to put its proposals forward, and it has to go forward to the Commission to make a final decision in any case. So they will look at all this, and but I don't think it's any political means when we've got so many seats.
Thank you, Councillor Bell. No one else? Oh, Councillor Wilson.
Hi, I just wanted to register that I'm really pleased to see the way that the North Shields area has been treated within this plan, even though it involves dividing the ward in which I currently live and serve as a councillor. I think actually in terms of the bigger story of what's happening here, this is going to be a real boon for North Shields as a town. It was previously separated in 4 directions. It can have, for both its residents and its businesses, some real focused attention from a team of councillors who I'm sure, whoever they will be, will dedicate themselves to that new ward. So I do hope that the Boundary Commission accept that particular recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wilson. I think, unless I've missed anyone, I think that's it. Can I now invite the move of the motion to exercise the right of reply? Councillor Johnson.
Thank you, Chair. I'm not sure where Councillor Bones ever looked at Wheatslade Ward before because it's unchanged except from Signet Park moving out. The Annisford area has never been in the Wheatslade Ward and it's not going in the Wheatslade Ward in this report either. So, you know, all that work you've done looking at the boundary review doesn't seem to be worth it, Liam. You know, this is not an attempt to politically gerrymander this borough. If we want this borough overwhelmingly votes Labour in all elections, whether the Conservatives like it or not, we could have easily created a map of 60 Labour seats if we'd wished to gerrymander the seats. We haven't. We've approached it from a completely non-political basis. We've tried to do the best for communities in this borough. It's explained in the report. I'll not go into it because they've all had a chance to see that tonight. I am very disappointed the Conservative group haven't put an amendment forward if they so have worked so hard on these. They got a clear letter from the boundary review group saying, please put your amendment forward by 5 p.m. on Tuesday. We would have considered that amendment. That is not forthcoming, you know. If you've got these great ideas, Councillor Bartoli and Bones, I'd love to hear them, and I'd love to see them. If they were generally to improve the communities of this borough, we'd have no problem supporting them. And, you know, this is not the end of the process of the boundary review. So for those that don't know, in February, we will get a chance to comment again. So the Boundary Commission will release their proposals, then come February, we get the chance to comment again. You know, if you've got these great ideas, bring them forward. We'll have a look at them. We'll see if they benefit the communities and fit with the free criteria, which will be very clearly set. So I just commend these proposals to the Council Chair, and we'll hopefully submit these on behalf of the Council as our official recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Johnson. We'll now go to the vote. Those in favour? Thank you. Those against? That is 42 in favour and 6 against. The report is carried. Thank you for your attendance this evening.